Hi, Phil here from Manta Tech, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the Nanite C3 dive light. Okay, Nanite is a company based out of Sweden that I've been working with a bit over the last few years, and we're going to be taking a closer look at their C3 canister light today. So it comes in this nice travel bag. All right, and we're going to open it up here, have a look at what we got inside. So start by taking out the light itself. Here you have the canister. And here we have the head of the light. Inside, you also have an alternate handle. This is a titanium Goodman handle. Currently, it's got the soft Goodman mounted on it, and I'll show you how that one works in just a second. Also inside, it'll come with a charger. And in this case, we're using a light that has a charging port on it. So you just pop this little cap off to connect the charger. And that comes with alternate adapters for you to use depending on what country you're in. Place that there. You also get some straps and other things that I don't have in my bag anymore because I don't need them, but just to carry the bag on the shoulder. So we'll set that to the side. Okay, so starting off with the light. Now, one of the first options is you have a few different options for cables. All right, so I just use the 120 centimeter default cable that comes with it. And I've found that that works just fine if I'm diving on side mount or on my rebreather. But for those who'd like a slightly longer cable for side mount, you can choose a 135 centimeter option. And you also have the option to add an EO cord if you're diving with a heated vest and you'd like to use the battery power for that as well. Now, moving on to the handles. So right now it's got the soft Goodman handle. So you run your hand through the strap and then you have the handle like that, and then you tighten up the strap. And I actually find underwater that sits very, very nicely. All right, sorry, cable's moving around a little bit on me here. But yeah, that's a very comfortable way to hold the light. Now, traditionally, I always favor the Goodman handles, and this titanium is really nice and light, but thankfully, as you purchase it, you get both. So you can try them both out, see which one you prefer, and make your own decision. Now, if we look a little bit at the light itself, it has a 5-degree spot, all right, that outputs a 6,000 Kelvin color profile, rated to a max depth of 200 meters. So that's well deep enough for me for the moment. And we'll get into a little bit of bird times later. The way you turn the light on is you have a magnetic switch on the back here, all right? So if I pop it on, I flick the switch, and the light is on. Now, it has 4 different settings. So by moving the switch back and forth, I can get a different light setting. All right, so now I'm on the dimmest. All right, so this will be your lowest. Moving up to number 2, slightly higher, number 3, all right, and finally up to number 4. Now, number 4 is 4,000 lumens of output, which I find is perfect for inside of wrecks, caves, and the lower settings sometimes as well if you're in very dark environments. Much higher than 4,000, I haven't found any need for, at least in the deep reef diving that we're doing around the Gillies, or any of the wreck diving I've been doing around the South Pacific. Now, for charging, you have 2 different options. You can get it with this charging port that, get my hands in here to unscrew. There we go. Pops off like that, okay? And then you just insert the charging cable. The other option, if you prefer not to have the charging port on, you can get it with an extension for the charger, and then you actually open the canister. It's quite easy to do. Just a gentle, see, there we go. Twist, like so, and then you can pull out the batteries like that. And in that case, you'll have a cable running down the side here that you can connect the charger to, okay? The tube is a lightweight aluminum tube, all right? with glass on the bottom that's glued on. And then you have these stainless steel Jubilee bands that have an attachment point that you can run your standard 2-inch webbing through, or any other mounting options that you'd like. So that just slides right back in. You have 2 O-rings that seal, so you line it up correctly, and then you just screw it back on tight. I've never had the need to, but you do have the option. If you're swapping out the mounting options, you can do the same thing on the bulb. You can unscrew that and remove that, and then slide your titanium Goodman handle on as well. Now, as far as burn time goes, I actually brought myself a little cheat sheet because there's quite a lot on here. But if we start off with the highest setting, so if you have it at 4,000 lumens, it'll run for about 2.5 hours. After that, it'll automatically switch down to setting 3 to preserve energy and run to 3 hours, and then it'll switch down to a security setting, which is below setting 1, for which it'll run up to 5 hours. Okay, so that's trying to use the most power that you can out of the light. If you move on to the 3rd light setting, so a little bit less than 4,000 lumens, you'll get about 4.5 hours before it switches down to the security setting, where it'll run for up to 7. If you go on power 2, you'll get 9 hours out of it straight, then going up to about 11 on the safety setting. And finally, on the lowest light output, you'll get a whopping 24 hours out of the light. So I found that this works for a full day of diving for me with no issues whatsoever. And I've been very, very happy with it. The bulb is quite light and very nice to work with. I've tried it with both of the handles, and I honestly, if I'm diving in very warm water where I'm not using any gloves of any kind, I prefer the soft Goodman. When I have thicker gloves on, I prefer the titanium Goodman. But having the option to use both of them is fantastic. So yeah, that's the Nanite C3.